Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at Familiars and Foes by Horrible Adorables.
Familiars and Foes is a cooperative dice rolling game that's coming to Kickstarter here in the near future, so make sure to check out the Kickstarter link down below after you watch our video. And as I mentioned, this is cooperative. You are going to be working together with your other familiar partners as you are trying to work to save some good witches that are your teachers and rescue them from the foes. You are going to be taking on wave after wave of different foes in this game, casting spells, doing physical attacks, using artifacts. Let's check out how it works down below, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer.
All right, here's Familiars and Foes on the table. Let me show you guys how this cooperative dice rolling game works. Now, I do want to let you know everything you see in this portion of the video is prototype, so the final artwork, components, maybe even some of the rules may be different when it is finally released in its finalized version. That being said, here we go. Now, in this game, you are going to be playing as a familiar that is a different type of element, such as water or air or fire, that sort of thing. And you are trying to rescue the witches that have been kidnapped. The good witches, such as Ember here, the fire mage. He has been kidnapped by the foes. And there are going to be 4 different waves of foes that you are going to be battling. And you can see that they're represented by these 4 piles of cards. And in those piles of cards, as I've already shown you, you have some witches that you are trying to rescue, and you have some foes. Now, these foes are going to be in 3 different levels here, levels 1, 2, and 3. To give you an example, here is Scraggle. Now, Scraggle is an air element foe, and that's important because the foes that you go against, they are going to have some weaknesses against different types of elements and some strengths. And so the water, Mimsy here, this is the one that I have set up in front of us. The Mimsy is a water familiar, and she is very strong against fire, which would not help us against Scraggle. He is an air element. And you can see that they are going to have specials. This particular foe causes all familiars rolls to be -1. And this is how he's going to attack against you when you roll on his turn, a special reward if you defeat him, and how many hit points he has depending on the number of players in the game. And he is level 1, as you can see there. Anyhow, there's going to be foes in each of these 4 different waves that you are going to be battling against throughout the course of the game. So for wave 1 here, we are going to be rescuing Mistral, the air mystic. And Mistral is going to give the Petey Paw player, if Petey Paw were in the game, and here is Petey Paw right here. Petey Paw would be able to get to use Mistral's special ability once at any point in the game, but only once. You spend it and it's gone. And so now we are going to put these different foes out here where they belong. And so we have Pudge Budge here, and we're gonna slot him in right here like so. And we have Grimble, and slot Grimble in right here. Now, if we were playing a 5-player game, there would be 22 hit points, and we would just set this counter here all the way at 22. And that would help us keep track of Grimble's health points, and we would do the same for Pudge Budge. We'll just put it on 16. I'm not really looked at it. And we're ready to go. Now, the frog here is going to help us keep track of whose turn it is. This little frog here is going to jump into the next pouch. And if we were playing 5 players here, it would start all the way on this side. And we would start with the red player working our way down the line. And each player is going to get 1 turn, and then it would be the foe's turn. And the foes collectively will attack us. Now, what do you do on your turn? Well, that's very simple, actually. You can cast a spell, perform a physical attack, or use an artifact. So what are those things? Well, we'll start with a physical attack here. You have to declare what it is you're going to be doing on your turn. So I might say I'm going to physically attack Grimble there. And I have to declare who I'm attacking against, and you can see what will happen depending on what I roll. You roll a d20 in this game, and so if I roll that and I rolled a 5, well, I got a hit, but just barely. And that would help me to do 1 bit of damage against the particular foe that I attacked, Grimble in this case, and so we would move Grimble down to 21, and it would be the next player's turn. If instead I decided to cast a spell, then I'm going to look on my spell card here, and I'm going to spend the number of magic required in order to do what I'm trying to do. So for instance, if I did summon the toad, I would spend 1 magic. Now you have magic here, MP, and that's tracked by this pink counter here. And so I spent 1 bit of magic, and I need to roll a 3 or higher to do 1 damage. Or I could have spent 3 magic, and I needed to roll a 9 or higher to do 4 damage, but if I didn't, there would be a penalty. I would lose 1 heart, and your hearts are kept track here on the bottom of your player board. Now, each character has their own spells that they are doing. They're fairly similar, but they are going to branch off as you get further into the game. But one thing that Mimsy does here, Drizzle Dance, can only be done against fire element bad guys, foes, such as Grimble. So I could do Drizzle Dance against Grimble, but I could not do it against Pudge Budge, because Pudge Budge is not fire. And you could see here that I would spend 2 magic, and I would need to roll a 5 or higher to be able to do the result here. I can also spend my magic to heal myself, or I can spend my health to refill my magic, because once you spend these things, they're gone. If I lose all of my health, then I faint. And if I use all my magic is gone until the next round. If we defeat all of the foes, then you do get to refill your magic points before taking on wave 2. You'll actually get to do that between each battle, but your HP, your hit points, will not refill unless something special happens, such as Mimsy's special ability is to spend one of these gems. Now each person has a number of gems determined by their player board, so 3 in this case, to be able to do this special ability, which for Mimsy is to heal one person's health points all the way back up to full. And that could be Mimsy, that could be one of the other familiars, but each character has their own special ability. You'll have to look on the Kickstarter if you want to see what those all do. Now, another thing that you are trying to do throughout the course of the game is you're trying to complete your training scroll. Now, there are 6 things that you need to be doing to be able to flip this card over and get some more advanced spells that you are able to do that are specific to that character. And so the things that you're trying to do, summon the toad, physical attack, stronger elemental spell, Bally-Ho. We've not talked about Bally-Ho. Now, when it is somebody else's turn, okay, you are able to do this list of things, which one of those is a Bally-Ho after another player's successful beginner spell. So when another player does one of their beginner spells and they are successful in doing whatever it is that they're trying to roll, you can do what is called a Bally-Ho, which is where you spend 1 bit of magic. So I have to have some magic here, and we'll spend it. We'll go down 1. And now I flip this coin, and I'm trying to get the eyeball, because if I can get the eyeball, then I do 2 damage to the foe. If, however, I don't get the eyeball, I get the eye closed, then I lose 1 health. So there's a bit of a risk when you do that, but it is tacking on extra damage to a foe on somebody else's turn. So you can always do that on someone else's turn when they're successful with what they're doing. So you're never quite out of the game, even when it's not on your turn. And you are also trying to use artifacts. Now, at the beginning of the game, everybody's going to be dealt an artifact card, and these are just going to do special things throughout the course of the game, such as the lantern here. If you're going to spend your lantern, you can flip the coin, and if it lands on the eye, foe delivers no damage this round, because whenever it's the foe's turn, somebody's going to roll for the foes, and they are going to do a number of things depending upon what is rolled. Some other examples of artifacts here. You can do the cloud in a bottle, which is going to, you're going to flip the coin, and if you get the eyeball, your partner may also perform a physical attack, and you continue to do this until somebody flips the eye closed here. And there are some artifacts that you're going to pass around, such as the 4-leaf clover here, which is going to be kind of a good luck charm here that's going to add 2 damage if you ever roll a 20, which is pretty good. So anyhow, you are going to be doing lots of attacks on your turn. You are going to be trying to keep your health full, your magic full, and you're going to be trying to take out these foes together, killing them off, moving on to the next round. If you can kill off all 4 foes, then you win the game. And if you don't, if you faint, if everybody faints, then that's too bad. You are able to revive other people if you've unlocked your advanced scroll spell. You are able to revive people who have fallen, spending 2 magic, and then everybody has to flip the coin. And if everybody is successful in getting the eyeball, then that person is revived with full health, full magic, and full special abilities. But if you didn't do that, then you're going to get half. And if nobody was able to, then the person is not revived. Then you are just out of luck. And that is how you play Familiars and Foes. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this.
And we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts on Familiars and Foes from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. Sam, you being a non-gamer, what were your impressions playing through Familiars and Foes?
The board is really nice. It's a mat.
Yeah, cloth mat.
A cloth mat. So, I mean, not that changes the playability or anything, but it's nice.
It's unique. It's
nice
different.
Quality. Yes. It did look a little busy, so I was worried about what that was going to look like. But overall, I think it's a great game for a non-gamer.
You know, you mentioned it does look a little busy, and I thought that too when I first looked at it. But then as I was looking at all the details that were on the board, it actually quite explains very well how the game works.
It's really just at first glance that you're like, whoa, there's a lot going on here. But as you pay attention to everything, it really does kind of explain the game.
And you almost don't even need the rule book.
Which is very nice for non-gamers to not have to constantly ask, okay, what can I do?
Yeah.
Which I still did. But but it does explain it quite
very detailed
on the board. So, and I mean, cooperative games, I think usually can be really good for non-gamers. This is a game that is not too easy for a gamer to quarterback.
Yeah.
I felt like you really did have to cooperate. You had to kind of take turns going back and forth, because you still could die on your own. So you still have to make sure you're playing for yourself, but at the same time, the cooperative element of it is good for non-gamers.
Yeah, you really need to work together and combo your attacks and coordinate and know what is best on when to ballyho and when not to, when to manage your magic points and that sort of thing. So, and also each different foe interacts differently depending on who you are and what element you are, because that determines whether or not you're able to do some of your stronger, more powerful attacks.
That was really fun when, you know, I was able to do that stronger attacker Lance was. It increased. You weren't just doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, you know, I enjoy dice rolling games in which you really got to figure out what is your best option on that particular turn, and not only what's best for me, but also what's best for Sam and what's best for the team as a whole. This one is just a real good team exercise, if you will, and so I think this one actually it works really well. For you as a non-gamer, what do you think? Is this one that works well with non-gamers?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I wonder if it's a little too easy for gamers.
Okay.
I think it's a great game to play with a gamer and a non-gamer, or for multiple non-gamers.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, and I think, you know, this is family friendly. The theme of it was a little offsetting. At first, we weren't quite sure what to think as far as the witchcraft type theme to it, but honestly, it's very minimal, and it's not even as extreme as Harry Potter. So if you're okay with Harry Potter, then you'll probably be okay with this. And playing it, I quickly realized this is a good family game. This is one that our kids could understand easily and play with us, and we could have a nice, fun experience together as a family.
Yeah.
And it has artwork that really appeals. You know, it's very childlike artwork. So it's ages 10 and up. I think it could probably be even younger than that, quite honestly. 30 minutes, 45 at the max.
It was a lot quicker than I thought it would be, honestly. I thought it looked like a long game when I think I even told that to Lance. I said, this looks long and complicated, and it was neither.
It's not. No, it goes pretty quick, actually. Yeah. And as you increase the number of players, I do recommend this probably at higher player counts rather than lower player counts, just because you're going to be able to teamwork and combo your attacks and ballyho and all of that more often in a higher player count game. But that just increases the excitement and the overall enthusiasm for the game. So Pretty good time with this one. I enjoyed it. That is Familiars and Foes. It's from Horrible Adorables. It's running on Kickstarter, so make sure to check out that Kickstarter link down below.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.